Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Andy, aka Elegy, aka Loggy. About a year and a half ago, maybe it was closer to 2 years ago, I can't remember, I uploaded a video called Luke's Elves, and there was a Magic the Gathering deck tech video I made for a deck that I made, an elf tribal deck for Modern that I gave as a gift to my cousin Luke. For whatever reason, that video got an astonishing amount of views for how, little I expected it to get, which I am grateful for. Don't misinterpret my surprise as unwanted. I just wasn't expecting a video like that to get the views it did. However, I'm back again, and this time I have another deck that I'm going to be giving to my cousin Luke. He announced to me that his favorite card at the time, this was last year, it's January 28th of the date I'm recording this. He announced his favorite card was Doom Foretold back in November. It's been a while, because I bought this for Christmas. It was my plan to give him as a gift for Christmas, but we didn't exchange gifts this year for Christmas because we didn't have a family get together or anything. But when I do see him, I'll be delivering this bad boy to him. So I don't know what else to say, so let's just get started. Unlike Luke's Elves, this is a proper a best of three traditional, because when I made the Elves deck, I wasn't even a competitive deck, so how that video got the views it did is beyond me, because that was back when Fury was legal in Modern, and it was a wild time. But this is along the lines of the Elf deck, in terms of it's not high tier competitive, but it's competent, it can win. It's just Modern's a pretty degenerate format, so it'll be competing with many degenerate things. But I haven't used this deck much, bro. I gotta squeeze the air out of these double sleeves real quick. Hold up. What was I saying, bro? I already forget. I was playing Arena, so the deck was best of one. The deck wasn't top tier competitive. I don't remember what I was saying, but let's just get into the deck. Let's try not to make the video too long. We will go over what we need to go over. So to begin, we got 4 Marsh Flats. We'll get the boring stuff out of the way. First, the lands. This Marsh Flats I actually pulled out of my my box of Modern Horizons 2. This video is uploaded on the channel if you want to see what I pulled out of this, but it's currently holding some commons and stuff that need to be sorted through. But yeah, that's where I got this Marsh Flats, and I'm happy that I can give it to him and that he can get use out of it instead of me just, not using it or selling it or something. But nothing more to say about that. It's just Marsh Flats. Marsh Flats. We also got 4 Godless Shrine. I went with this version because I don't like the artwork on the other Godless Shrines. I don't know how Luke feels, but that's the artwork he's getting, and he's gonna like it. I don't know. There's Godless Shrine. This is Orzhov, Doom Foretold, by the way. I think I mentioned his favorite card was Doom Foretold, so yeah, this is a Orzhov Doom Foretold deck. We also got 4 Shattered Sanctums, the slow land, or whatever you call them, from 3rd Innistrad outing. We also have 4 Caves of Koilos. Nice dank little pain land here. Full art, looks nice, but I'm not a fan of pain lands, though it does seem worth it in a deck like this. It has ways of regaining life, so it's not too terrible. Speaking of gaining life, we got 1 Restless Fortress. Dual land enters tapped, but it can become a creature land that when it attacks, you drain your opponent for 2. Not even bad. Speaking of creature land, we also have Hive of the Eye Tyrant, one of the classics from the Adventure in the Forgotten Realms era. We have Takenuma, a channel land that you can discard it at instant speed or whatever, and mill, 3, and then return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. It doesn't have to be the one of the 3 you just milled, so very nice card for recurring some pieces here. And then we got some basics, 1 plains, 2 swamps to round out the lands, which, if I can math correctly, equals out to 22. We don't have a ridiculous curve or anything. I know 4 mana is a lot in Modern, but that's really all the farther we want to get, so don't need too many lands, so we make sure the ones we do have are powerful though, so that's our land base. Anyway, as far as the deck itself, we got 4 Shambling Ghast. The thing about Doom Foretold is you want creatures that you don't mind sacrificing. Like when Shambling Ghast dies, you get beneficial effects. You can either make a treasure token or like a removal spell, make an opponent's creature get -1/-1 until end of turn. So you're usually going to get rewarded with a treasure token, but the -1/-1 does come up. It's not a non-option, so both very nice to have on a 1-drop. Speaking of 1-drop, we also have Hopeless Nightmare. 1 mana enchantment that makes your opponent discard a card when it enters the battlefield. So well, we'll get to that later, but this is just another permanent you can sacrifice to Doom Foretold in order to, get value out of it. This even has a built-in way to sacrifice itself. You can pay 3 mana and sack it to Scry, but you can also just sack it to Doom Foretold, so that's what we'd like to do. We don't want to spend mana when we don't need to if we have Doom Foretold available, so yeah, that's why Hopeless Nightmare is there. That's all we have for 1-drops. Moving on to 2 mana. We got 4 copies of Relentless Dead, a zombie with menace. When it dies, however, you can pay a black mana and return it to your owner's hand. So, like, if Doom Foretold is out and this is out, comes back to your turn, you gotta sack a permanent, you can sack your Relentless Dead, but you can just pay a mana and return it to your hand, so you're not, like, really losing anything in that regard. So, I don't know if that's, like, a common play line in, like, Doom Foretold, because I'm not much of a connoisseur of Doom Foretold myself, but I had to make this banger of a deck for Luke, and I think this really fits. And also when it dies, you can pay X, and if you do return another target zombie creature from the graveyard to the battlefield, so that could come up, but when it doesn't, just paying 1 and returning it to your hand is pretty insane. So yeah, nice 4 of Relentless Dead, bro. Very solid addition to the deck. Just a 2/2 beater with menace, yeah. And then, of course, we're playing Modern. But when we made the deck, this was like right when LCI came out and they were about to ban stuff. And like, I was awaiting that announcement, like, okay, are they gonna ban Orcish Bowmasters? But they ended up not doing it, so that was cool. So I was able to actually order 4 of these bad boys for the deck. This is $200+ in my hand right now, bro. That ain't right, but it's still legal, so people gonna want it. 2 mana, 1/1 flash when it ETB. You all know what this does. I'm not even gonna read it, bro. Everybody that plays Modern knows Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah, we got the set. Unfortunately, with Doom Foretold, you cannot sack tokens, so the token that this produces will not be able to be sacrificed. So if this is the only thing you have in play, along with the token, you'll have to pitch your Bowmasters, which is unfortunate, because if you could sack the token, you could proc another token potentially with the Bowmasters, but not how it works, but it's still a very, very solid addition. Now here we got 4 Tithing Blade, a new one from LCI. Prior to that, I was rocking Trial of Ambition, an old one from Amonkhet era. They both do the same thing effectively. When it ATBs, you make your opponent sack a creature. So a nice turn 2 play, make him sack a creature. However, unlike Trial of Ambition, which is that's pretty much its only effect, it has another ability. When a cartouche enters the battlefield, you can return this to your owner's hand. This deck was never playing any cartouches, so that might as well have been an empty text box. This, however, has Craft with Creature, so you can pay 5 mana and exile this artifact, exile creature you control or creature from your yard to actually turn this over into Consuming Sepulcher. Consuming Sepulcher, which is just a nice win condition on its own. Drains your opponent for 1 each upkeep, but it might end up getting sacked to Doom Foretold, but if it doesn't, it's still a nice win condition. I don't know how often the craft is going to come up, but just in general, having that permanent lying around, you 1 for 1 with it, make them sack, then you can sack it yourself later for value. It's just all around solid. And an upgrade from Trial of Ambition, which used to be like a staple in Doom Foretold decks, but now I think this is just all around better. We got a couple Rite of Oblivion. I only put 2 in here because I don't think this is what you want to be playing. 2 mana, exile any non-land permanent. That's powerful. However, you do have to sack one of your permanents. You effectively have to 2-for-1 yourself to do it. You are playing a bunch of permanents that you don't mind sacrificing, so it's not too bad in that regard, but you want your permanents that you don't need still available so you can sacrifice them to your Doom Foretold. So it's still not... I don't think playing 4 is correct, but having a couple is definitely... I can get down with having 2, so... yeah, that's Rite of Oblivion. And I think that is all our 2 mana spells. Well, sort of. Right here we have another banger. Good old The Meat Hook Massacre, bro. Look at this. Remember when this card was like $70+? Then they banned it and it dropped like a rock. It still cost me a pretty penny, but it's no Shoulder the Apocalypse. I did include one in here as a nice sweeper that becomes a permanent that you can sack your Doom Foretold later, so I think playing at least one is correct. So we got the Meat Hook. And then we got a play set of Murderous Rider, which has an instant speed adventure, 3 mana, destroy target creature or planeswalker, and you lose 2 life. That's good. Like, that's straight up, not murder. What's the other one? Hero's Downfall, but you lose 2 life. So just staple that to a 3 mana 2/3 with lifelink that returns itself to your library when it dies. That's pretty incredible. Luke feels the same, and he was pretty excited. Like, I built my first Doom Foretold deck on Arena, and I included this in it, and he was like, oh man, Murderous Rider looks so good in this. And so yeah, I got 4 of them, and there they are. You have more 3 mana spells, however. This is Treacherous Blessing. Another auto include in Doom Foretold. 3 mana when it ATBs, draw 3 cards. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you have to sacrifice it. That way you can't like just blink it and keep drawing cards. They built that into the effect, but the downside, whenever you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. So this ETBs, you get immediate value out of it, but then the longer it sits on the battlefield, you'll be more disadvantaged. Is that a word? It is now. It's like the very first iteration of the One Ring, if you think about it like really sideways. You draw 3 cards right away, then it slowly, very slowly drains you. So a very solid target to sacrifice to Doom Foretold. We draw those 3 cards, we get our use out of it, we then sacrifice it since we'll no longer need it and it'll just be hindering us. So a very solid option. Definitely auto include 4 of there. I am running a couple Sarah Paragons because Luke had some in his Doom Foretold decks he made and showed me on Arena, so I wanted to include them here. I don't know how good it is or how, like, if it will end up doing much in the deck, but I did want to include some of the options he showed me in his original iteration, so I have the Paragons here. And I mean, they're not dead cards by any means, but the other option was literally Shoulder the Apocalypse. But in addition to the ridiculous price to buy a copy of Shoulder the Apocalypse right now, I think it's at least $100. It just feels wrong including Shoulder in a deck like this that wants to sacrifice your own permanents, because Shoulder gets value out of staying on the battlefield, and it didn't seem right. Sarah Paragon at least can get you the permanents you sacrifice back, so it has use in that regard, so I included it in addition to the other reasons I mentioned. We are almost finished with the deck. I have 1 copy of Beseech the Mirror, another card that costs a pretty penny, because this is making waves in, I think, Legacy, maybe even Vintage, but yeah, 4 mana, you can bargain it, sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token, and then you get an additional effect. With this, it's like a 4 mana tutor for any spell with mana value 4 or less, which, by the way, is every card in our deck, so we can tutor up anything. However, if we bargain it, meaning sacrifice a Hopeless Nightmare or a treasure token or anything like that, we can actually, instead of putting that card in our hand, we can cast it for free. So the ideal playline is to do something like that, bargain it, and get the last playset of cards in the deck, which is, of course, the Doom Foretold. This should have been the first card I did, but I forgot I put it in the back. So, yeah, spoiler alert, yeah, we're playing Doom Foretold in the Doom Foretold deck. Oh, I suppose I should go over it in case y'all don't know what it does. At the beginning of each enchantment, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-land, non-token permanent. If that player can't, they discard a card, lose 2 life, you draw a card, you gain 2 life, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, then you sacrifice Doom Foretold. So this tries to make it so that your opponent will eventually not have anything to sacrifice, so they have to discard from their hand. Meanwhile, you repeatedly get advantage off of the Doom Foretold, like drawing cards, getting token creatures on board. It will sacrifice itself, unfortunately. However, we have 4. We have Sarah Paragon that I guess can get it out of the yard and stuff. But yeah, overall our plan is to just outvalue what our opponents are doing. Just generally being a nice, almost like control shell. But yeah, I think it's pretty strong. And since I made the deck for actual competition, I included a sideboard this time. So I actually forgot what's in the sideboard. Okay, we got Pithing Needle. We got 2 of them. Nice for naming. God, I don't even know what. There's so many things this could name. Only 2 though, it seems. All right, that's pretty nice. Oh, we got some duress. This could and probably should be Thoughtseize, but with the shocks, the fetches, the pain lands, and everything in here that makes us lose life, like the Murderous Rider and stuff. Treacherous Blessing, maybe you don't want to damage yourself with that 2 loss of life effect for Thoughtseize, so I think Duress may be correct to have Thoughtseize, but I'm rocking Duress. I don't think it'll be much of an issue. In the event that we need to kill opposing creatures at instant speed, I do have Fatal Pushes in the board. Seems only 3 of them, but yeah, just a nice way to interact at instant speed if that is a necessity. Probably should have 4 in the board, to be honest, but I don't, so that's on me. The sideboard's looking a little wild as it is, so I don't know. Okay, we got Doomscar, our only sweeper. I didn't include any in the main, but definitely 3 in the board. I'm going to tell my kids this was the real Doom Foretold, because you foretell it, and then you Doomscar. Bro, I've been waiting decades to make that joke. I don't know if anyone's ever made it. If they haven't, bro, I'm definitely patenting that shit, because that is hilarious. I think these were legal and standard at the same time, so someone had to make that joke. Maybe they weren't. I don't know, but still, that's a fire joke, and seems like another option we should have 4 of in the board, but we don't, so that's what we're rocking with. We do have a couple Leyline of the Voids, however, as well as Leyline of Sanctity. So the final 4 cards are Leylines, Void for graveyards, Sanctity for... Why is this here? I guess opposing Thoughtseize? Oh, Grief? Could be? Yeah, because they didn't ban Grief, so that makes sense. I don't know. I like it, though. When I deliver the deck to Luke, he can make all the changes he wants, but I like this shell, and I'm glad I can show it all, you know, laid out at once. I really like making these Magic deck tech videos. And something feels weird about, like, when they get unexpected amounts of views. Like, that elf video makes me so self-conscious. Like, why are you people watching this? Again, I'm not trying to make myself seem ungrateful. I'm glad those of you who are watching are watching. I just wasn't expecting to receive the amount of views I did based on what my channel normally receives. But if you do like what you see, be sure to subscribe, because I got more coming. I'm going to get on out of here. I got like 5 more decks. I'm going to try to record right after this one, so I'll be here all night. However, this has been Luke's... What am I going to call this one? Luke's Doom? No, that sounds dumb. Oh no, what am I going to name this? Name pending. I'm just going to call it Doom Foretold for right now, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day, guys.